Let's talk about Drano. I'm Seth Godin. I'm your teacher for this course, and we're going to start by talking about Drano. The other day, during the Super Bowl, I was poking around on Twitter, and for some reason, this ad showed up. It was an ad on Twitter that I didn't want to see, that no one wanted to see, with a picture of some plumbing under a sink in the shape of a football. Mentioning, of course, not the Super Bowl, but the big game, because they don't have the rights to the word Super Bowl. And some well-meaning brand manager had decided that the future of Drano was going to be that during a special event when people are poking around and figuring out who's going to win the big game, they would put up a picture of a football in a pipe, and that somehow people would see this and run to the local store to get Doritos, guacamole, and some Drano. There is a dividing line going on, and this course is about that dividing line. That every marketing textbook I've ever seen, every marketing course I've ever heard about, starts from the same place. So before we get into this, I want to talk about this class. I want to talk about what you're going to get out of it, and I want to talk about how to get the most out of it, because your time is really valuable. What I've found from my previous Skillshare course is this. There is a 100% correlation between doing the exercises and getting something out of the class. That if you're here to just watch the video to see if I'm going to be humorous as usual, or at least interesting, I can promise I'll be at least interesting, but I can also assure you, you will not get the most out of it. So what I've done this time is divided it up into a series of lessons. There are 4 big lessons, maybe 5, and within each one, lots of subsets. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is not watch the whole thing and see if the video teaches you anything. Because where you will really learn something is by doing the simple exercises. Print out the simple PDFs that are associated with each lesson and answer the questions. They're not the kind of questions like what year was the War of 1812. They're questions about you, questions about your organization. The second thing I'm going to encourage you to do is find someone to do this with. That instead of doing this on your own, find someone, whether it's online or offline, who will look at what you're doing, you will look at what they're doing. Reach out to somebody, bring them in. There's a lot to learn here, and I'm hoping I can guide you through the steps. But most of all, I'm counting on you to dig in and answer some hard questions. Okay, so back to Drano. I apologize to whichever brand manager Drano is caught in the horrible vice that they are caught in. But let me explain what every marketing course teaches. They are all based on something that is over 100 years old, and it's brilliant. It was invented by Josiah Wedgwood, who invented Wedgwood china hundreds of years ago. He was Charles Darwin's grandfather. Josiah Wedgwood figured out how to build a factory where they could make porcelain china. That first person who ever did that. And he had health insurance for his workers, and they had lights, and they had an assembly line. He was the first person to open a retail showroom. He was the first person to do direct marketing, sending his pottery to the crowned heads of Europe on approval. Here's a whole bunch of pottery. If you want more, send me some money. He figured out how marketing used to work. And the way it worked was pretty straightforward. Sam Walton, David Ogilvy, the giants of the field all understood this. For a long time, marketing was make what you want and advertise it like crazy. That if you spend enough money on advertising, you would make enough money to buy more ads. So if we look at something like Mad Men, what we see is not that they were good at advertising, because no one knows what it meant to be good at advertising. What they were good at was getting clients to spend a lot of money on advertising. Because in 1963, if you spent a lot of money on advertising, if you sponsored Batman and the Beverly Hillbillies, or you bought every billboard you could find, you would make enough money to buy more advertising. Retailers would see your advertising, give you more shelf space. Shelf space was scarce and valuable. Shelf space led to more sales. More sales made you more money, so you could run more ads. So when you think about what marketing used to be, it was all this stuff about gross rating points and budgets and a mindset that said, how do we interrupt the masses? to get them to buy more of what we make. And this course is not about that. This course is about something new, something that's happened in the last 10 to 15 years, something that started with little companies. My colleague Jay Levinson pioneered this whole idea of guerrilla marketing. Little companies doing stuff because they couldn't afford a Super Bowl ad, but it's not there anymore. It's everybody now. It's every nonprofit, every spiritual institution, every for-profit. Everybody who's trying to spread an idea has discovered that they can't do it the way they used to. And yet, you and I could walk into any business school in this country, to any marketing class in this country, and that's what's being taught. That what's being taught is a framework to think about what you do when you have something you want to market. And this course is about something else. This course says, market what works. It means that the role of marketing has changed, and it means that your role as a marketer has changed. We need a new vocabulary, new measurements, and a whole new way to think about what it is we do when we market, whether we're marketing a Skillshare course, a brand new camera, or a business-to-business venture. It's all different than it used to be. So what I want to do in this class is take you through step by step some of the key questions. And the first time through, you may not have easy answers to these questions. The first time through, it may not be obvious to you how you should proceed. But I want you to go through the exercise, because at the end, when it all starts fitting together, you're going to be able to go back through it, do it again, and now it will make sense. What will you end up with? You'll end up with a marketing project. Not necessarily a plan, because business plans are filled with double talk, but a calendar, a set of decisions, and most of all, an understanding of what you should be measuring and what you should be fighting for. And what I know is that the tactics vary from organization to organization, no question about it. But what I am certain of is that if you understand these techniques and measure the right thing, and most important, build the thing that needs to be built, you will do better than if you don't. The exciting thing for marketers today is that not only is marketing far broader, far more involved, far more integrated into what the organization does than ever before, but the tools are there that do not require money, but require guts and vision and genuine caring. What more could we ask for? This is your chance to make a ruckus. I hope you get something out of this course. Thank you.